I'm talking to you today about adding support and quotes to your graphic organizer that you will eventually use in your research paper. This is just a quick refresher. You've already taken these notes. They're actually on guided notes that should be in the writing section of your binder. I just want to do a quick refresher. So again, when we talk about support, that means direct quotes from the story or book or the research articles that we've been using. A quote does not have to be dialogue. What we mean by quote is that it's any line or lines borrowed word for word from someone else's work. Now, it's really important and absolutely necessary to put support and quotes in your writing because it firms up what you're saying in both your thesis and your topic sentence. Without quotes, essentially, your paper means nothing. Make sure, too, when you're looking for your quotes, that you are finding the best possible quotes you can possibly find to support what you're saying in your topics. You will generally need 1 to 3 quotes per paragraph. Ignore this section right now. You're going to need 1 from the book and 1 from the research. Okay, if you need to use more, talk to Mrs. Hendrickson or myself, and we'll talk to you about how you can integrate that into your paper. Again, make sure you have a correct parenthetical citation after each quote to avoid plagiarism. And make sure that all your quotes relate back to the information in the topic sentence. Let me show you a sample, okay? So you're writing in your paper about the use of symbolism in the novel, okay? So yesterday you will have filled in your thesis and topic sentences. I'm going to show you a sample topic sentence right here. So it says, to begin, the fire at Miss Maudie's house is a symbol for racism in the community, okay? So all of our quotes have to be about that fire at Miss Maudie's house. Now, the first thing you need to do is add your quote from your research. So what I did is I went over to the research article and I found a really strong quote that explains what that fire symbolizes. And I put it right down here under quote from the research. So you'll see quote/research. That says, the fire depicts the prejudice of the people in the county, saying that blacks and whites certainly are not the same. Since the author of this article is a man whose last name is Smykowski, I'm going to put his last name in these parentheses right here, and this is my parenthetical citation. Anything that you use from the article will have this same parenthetical citation of Smykowski in parentheses, okay? So now that I have my quote from the research that says what the fire symbolizes, I need to find a really good quote from the novel about the fire. That happened in chapter 8. If you're having a hard time locating in the novel where these quotes occur, I would recommend that you go to Google and type something in like, what chapter was the fire at Miss Maudie's house and To Kill a Mockingbird? Or what chapter did the kids build a snowman? Or what chapter does it talk about killing a mockingbird? That will point you in the right direction for which chapter to go look in and find your quote. So again, I'm looking for a really strong quote that talks about the fire. Since our quote from the research is about the fire, our quote from the novel needs to be about the fire too. So after you find your quote from the research, you're going to come up here to where it says quote/novel. And I found one from the book. It says, Miss Maudie's tin roof quelled the flames. Roaring, the house collapsed. Fire gushed everywhere. So this talks again about the fire at Miss Maudie's house, whereas the quote from the research talks about what that fire symbolizes. These two go together quite well. Any quote that you're using from the novel needs a parenthetical citation as well. Your parenthetical citation is going to be Lee, the last name, and the page number that you got it from, okay? Make sure to put quotation marks around your quotes here, parenthetical citation after the quotation marks, and the period comes on the outside. Do not worry about doing anything else today. So your primary goal today is to add your quote from the research and then find your quote from the novel and add it in. Your quote should be finished by the end of class. Make sure you give your graphic organizer back to Mrs. Hendrickson so we can save them for tomorrow. If you finish early, grab an upfront magazine from the back counter and you can do some reading. Thanks so much and have a great day.